Detroit Lions fans, welcome back in. Steve and Will, I'm just going to get right to it. Do you know what absolutely has been shocking me these last week or so?
I have no idea. Spill it.
Man, these people who follow the Detroit Den 313 regularly, I have to give them a hats off, Will, because I said we were going to be giving away this beautiful, brand new sticker still on, tag still on, Brian Branch, black jersey. If we get to 8,000 subscribers, we're there. And I'm telling you right now, I did not expect to get this close this soon. It's going to come down to the wire. 8,000 subscribers by essentially a week from now, before the calendar turns to December 31st. We hit 8K. I'm giving away that and a Fanatics gift card up to $100. I don't have that yet, but I will order it. Well, I got to give a little applause for the people. But what are we talking today?
Before we get into what we're talking, I will say I hope everybody had a Merry Christmas. And at the Ford household, we had for the most part we had a Merry Christmas, but there's no way that I could come on here and not talk about the fact that we lost somebody very special to us.
Don't tell me literally, you told me.
Yeah, literally, and me and Steve, I haven't even talked to Steve about it yet, but literally day before Christmas, we lost our dog Bella. Man, literally best dog ever. Dog ever. Yeah, so we lost our girl, man. We lost our girl Bella. And it was a rough ride, man. It was a rough ride, but brutal. I'm sorry, but I will say, best dog ever had, and just thankful for the time. So if you got an opportunity, you got a dog you love, or you just
I'm about to call Nala up here. Nala's about to be a guest appearance on today's show because we got to lighten the mood a little bit here. That's brutal.
Yeah, so give her a RIP, Bella, if you feel remiss, man. But yeah, miss her, man. Awesome dog. But
Bella the GOAT.
Yeah, but we'll say this. Bella is in doggy heaven cheering for the Detroit Lions Super Bowl. And maybe she went down with some Lions gear, you know. Oof. And yeah, I mean, it was a must, man. She wasn't gonna have it any other way. Yeah, you know what I mean? She wasn't gonna have it any other way. And today, man, Bella wants to talk about some Teddy B, man. So we're gonna talk about some Teddy Two Gloves, Steve. Teddy Bridgewater, what you got to say about him, man?
I'm a little surprised, and I see some people already talking Hendon Hooker quarterback too. Like, we'll get into all that, guys. My first question is, William, Teddy coming from that fresh off that high school championship run where he won with his alma mater. I can't remember the name of the school, somewhere down in Florida, state champion. And I'm just thinking, like, my first question is, how's Teddy's pass rush? Like, can we get him out there at the end? He's probably put on a couple LBs. You know what happens when you retire? We're not, no body shaming here, but I'm just thinking, did Teddy beef up a little bit? Has he still got that speed, elusiveness to avoid a left tackle or a guard or a running back? Can he get after the quarterback, a position he's familiar with? How do you feel about him?
Man, I don't think we're going to see Teddy at the end, unfortunately. But
Teddy Hutchinson, like, what are we talking?
Yeah, Teddy pass rush is going to stick to quarterback position, but I'm excited for it, man. And hearing Coach Campbell talk about it today, it got me even more excited and more impressed with Coach Campbell, if that's even possible. I feel like he handled it in a way that was so graceful, man. And he articulated exactly what they were doing with no secrets. He said, hey, if we have a situation to where we need to do something, it's going to be Hendon Hooker. And we're not doing this because we're disappointed with what Hendon Hooker's doing. But Hendon Hooker is going to play if there's a situation with Jared Goff. But Teddy Bridgewater probably would see some snaps too. And went on to talk about how pivotal he is for the organization, how everybody loves him, how he understands the offense, how he's been a great mentor. And I think that's exactly what this is. And then some, and I'll get into that on the back half of the podcast. But I think that this is about who Teddy Bridgewater is as a man, right? Let alone not just his physical ability at the quarterback position if we need him. He fits what the Detroit Lions are as an organization. And I think they want to bring that back in for a playoff run and have a warm and fuzzy if for some reason we needed to have somebody step in. And Hendon Hooker wasn't ready because he's still yet to be proven live NFL reps. So how you feel, Steve? You think I'm on? You think I'm off? What you thinking?
I think you're slightly off. Listen, I love the signing. It gives me a warm and cozy because I'm not a San Francisco 49ers fan, especially this week. Kill them on the football field. But I remember what they went through a couple years ago in the NFC Championship game on the road in Philly. They had Josh Johnson coming in as their quarterback, their emergency quarterback. He gets hurt, or I think he was their backup, and Christian McCaffrey had to come in and play some quarterback, which was mostly Wildcat. And that was when Brock Purdy, I think he did something to his shoulder or elbow that season. I can't. He got hit. Yeah, he got hit in that Eagles game, and he was out. Josh Johnson comes into the game. He gets hurt. Now they're down to a running back playing quarterback.
Yeah.
That's what the NFL made this new emergency quarterback rule. I think that's what Teddy is going to be. And I can't name a quarterback room in the NFL that's 3 deep and as good as we are. So I love the signing. There's 0, 0, 0 risk to this, and it's all reward. It's all insurance. It's a contingency for what if, 2 what ifs, really. So I like it. I think it's a solid signing, and there's nothing we can really lose from this.
Yeah, I just look at, we're on a Super Bowl run. We're not on a make it to the playoffs run. We're not on a okay with just competing run. We're a team that truly believes from the top down all the way down to its fans that we can win a Super Bowl. And I think this is about solidifying that and just having a little bit more insurance. And I think that without Hendon Hooker actually doing it on the field, now you have somebody in the building who has actually won meaningful football games. So I think truly that's what it's about, man. Now you got a guy in the building. If Hendon can't get it done, the season isn't over, right? You're not trying to sign Tom Brady. You know what I mean? Like, you're not panicking. You got another guy in the building. But I do agree. I think he's going to be the emergency guy. But if something happened, man, and we had a 2 deep that didn't involve Jared, I think that now there's going to be some conversations with who's going to take those snaps, or who's going to be. There's going to be a competition. It's not just going to be, hey, it's just Hendon, good or bad. So I'm excited for it, man. Just to get him back. And what I was alluding to, and let me know what you're thinking, Steve. What I was alluding to is this: on the back end of this thing, everybody talks so highly about this dude. When Hendon Hooker and Jared Goff talked about how he learned things from Teddy Bridgewater, man. So I'm wondering, I know they're very happy with Coach Mark Brunell, and I've heard good things about JT Barrett. Is this a guy who we could see down the road on the Detroit Lions staff? Could you see Teddy Bridgewater coaching for the Detroit Lions here in the next couple of seasons? He's already proven that he can get it done at the high school level, one and done. Let's go get that ship, baby. Let's go get that championship, one and done. You think he can coach in the NFL for the Detroit Lions?
William,
talk to me.
Usually when I raise my eyebrows, it's because you've said something absolutely preposterous that blows my mind, makes no sense. I wasn't on that radar. Yeah. I don't think he's taking Mark Brunell's job, but I mean, there is some shuffling possibly going around. Ben Johnson's got some rumors. Is he going to be able to snag a couple other guys from our staff, and then we have to hate Ben Johnson? I don't know. It's out there. It's possible. I don't know. I mean, I don't know Teddy Bridgewater personally. I don't know how much he loves coaching and giving back to his community back in Florida. Is he willing to give that up to come to the NFL, where it's a little bit more, a little bit, obviously a couple more dollars, $1 or $2 more, possibly leading to a head coach in the NFL down the road? I don't know. We've seen it like Byron Leftwich. Like, he's kind of on that same path. It's a good question. Can I see him with the Detroit Lions if there's a position open? Possibly, but I don't know. We'll have to see what happens in the offseason. I'm all for it. We'll have to see what happens with Ben Johnson, Aaron Glenn, see what goes on there. But can he coach? I mean, yeah, I don't see why he couldn't be able to. Why not give him a shot?
I think about this too, Steve. I've been pretty strong about a guy in the Detroit Lions camp that a lot of people don't know about, Tanner Inkstrand. And I said, hey, this is a guy that we could be looking at as being the OC if Ben Johnson were to leave. But this is something that I've never thought about until I started thinking about Teddy Bridgewater the last couple of days, and really last couple of weeks, because I heard that he was making a comeback to the NFL, and I was like, making a comeback to the NFL, wouldn't mind going to a playoff team. I'm thinking Detroit Lions. That was before anything had even came to fruition, where he might be going, because he already knew the offense. It just made sense. But when I think about this, Ben Johnson takes a job. He's like this with Tanner Inkstrand. Who's to say that Tanner Inkstrand doesn't go and be Ben Johnson's OC? You know what I'm saying? So there might be positions, like you said, open and shuffling around and things happening. So we don't know. Maybe Mark Brunell is our next OC and we need a QB coach or whatever. I mean, it's just, there's a lot of different things and moving parts that could happen. We don't know who might go with Ben and what the situation may be and what we may be looking for. getting good coaches on the staff, I think is huge. And the biggest thing to me with coaching that I've learned, it's about the relationships. It's not about what you know, right? What you know is this much of it. Because if the guys don't like you, if the guys don't want to play for you, if the guys don't want to be around you, you could know literally everything, and they're not going to want to take the time to get that information for you and from you and play hard from you. But if you know a little bit, and they will take that little bit and run through a big raw for you, like Kirby Joseph said, he said, "Listen, Coach Campbell gets to talking. I just like, man, I would run through a brawl for that guy. I'd do anything that guy wanted me to." That's what it's about. And the relationships that Teddy Bridgewater has already built in Detroit and the way that they talk about him and articulate how he is and who he is as a human, I think that the Lions would be absolutely crazy to let him slip through their fingertips and not get on that coaching staff. And I think moving forward, it is something that I'm calling it. We will see Teddy Bridgewater as a coach in the Detroit Lions coaching staff because we're built for it. What are we? We're a bunch of dudes that used to play in the league that are good ass dudes that know how to teach this game and be players, coaches with accountability. Teddy Bree, I can't wait to see you. Hopefully, I never have to see you take a meaningful snap as a Detroit Lion. And that's no knock on you. That just means Jared Goff stayed healthy and he took care of business. But I love to see you on that coaching staff.
You wouldn't want to see Teddy go up against the Minnesota Vikings if we've already clinched the division and the number 1 seed, Will? Former
No.
team that drafted him, possibly. Maybe come in and he gets the victory formation snap.
I mean, I wouldn't mind something like that. I wouldn't mind him getting the victory formation snap, but I want to see Hendon Hooker. If that game doesn't mean anything, I want to see Hendon Hooker snap or start that game so he can get those snaps, man, and get some meaningful snaps in the league, and we can get a look at him and he can get some experience. There's nothing against Teddy B. Love the guy. Got an opportunity to play him at Northwestern in high school. T took me out there to go watch him in high school. Him and another guy that was a monster in the high school level, Duke Johnson, out there in Florida. It's just different speed out there in Florida, but got an opportunity to see those guys play in high school, which was cool, man. So I followed his career from high school to Louisville to the NFL, jumping around. He's always been a dude who could just get it done, likable guy, man. So yeah, man, I see him on the staff. I'm cheering for him.
Yeah, he won some meaningful games for the Saints. I think when Drew Brees got hurt, I think they were in a pivotal point in their season, and Teddy Bridgewater had to come in, and I think he had to start 4 games. I believe he went 4-0 on those games, and the Saints ended up making the playoffs. So he kind of partially saved their season, I'd say. And have you seen what Jameson Williams has kind of said about him? I think it was in the past, but it's just kind of starting to circulate again. Just Teddy Bridgewater just being that mentor, just showing Jameson Williams when he was coming into the league how to be a pro, how to do the right thing, be on time, don't do anything stupid, kind of like taking him under his wing. So this is a young Lions team. I think a lot of people forget, like, this is a team that's mostly built through the draft, mostly, not completely, not 100%, but for the most part, I think that this Detroit Lions team is one of the youngest in the NFL. I definitely think we're at the bottom 5. I'd have to look that up, but this is a team that's just drafted. We're put together through the draft. So to have a guy that's been in the league, his gruesome knee injury that a lot of people thought his season was done, he bounced back from like all that shit. He comes in here and he can say, hey, I can pull any player aside and I can talk to him. I can relate with a lot of different situations. You had an injury, Aiden Hutchinson, come here. Let me talk to you real quick. You've been traded to a different team. It wasn't working out. Hey, Jared Goff, come here. Let me talk to you real quick. Like, he's a guy that's just, he checks a lot of boxes. And again, when it comes to getting on the football field, I personally don't want to see Teddy Bridgewater, but I do feel much, much better with the situation, just reverting back to that 49ers nonsense that they had a couple years ago. It killed their seasons and it killed their shot at a possible Super Bowl. So I think we're just kind of taking it as a contingency option. But I love Teddy Bridgewater, man. Can't say enough good things about him.
2 gloves, let's get it.
So just some other news. There's been some things that have kind of surprised me a little bit with, kind of a little off topic. We won't go too long into it, but Lions waiving Quan Alexander and David Long. Does that surprise you at all?
No, I just think that, to me, that just means Alex Anzalone's getting a little bit closer to being able to come back. And then they really like this Ezekiel Turner too, man. They like him in pass coverage type situations, man. They think that he's underrated and he's committed to the special teams value too. So I don't know, man. I'm not in the same boat, but they're obviously smarter than me, and I haven't really broke down the film on those linebackers. So I am interested to see bringing down the film on what those linebackers did for us while they were here, and then really breaking it down on Ezekiel Turner and trying to see what they're seeing, because I haven't really got an opportunity to do that.
And then there was another. Hopefully this is something we can talk about later. The Miami Dolphins, they waived Shaq Barrett. That's a guy that hopefully, I mean, what we won't dive full in because I'm expecting to do a show that the Detroit Lions have signed Shaq Barrett. So something to keep an eye out for. William, you got anything else for tonight?
Yeah. So on the Shaq Barrett tip, I will say this, right? And just like you said, we'll save it for a show if we do sign him, or it's looking like he does get signed. Shoot, maybe we do a show on him even if he clears waivers. But here's what I want people to understand right out of the gate: Shaq Barrett, right? He was retired. Right? Decided in November that he wanted to come back and play some football. Right? They did not get activated by the Dolphins. So now they have given him the opportunity to go seek other employment. But here's the deal: if any team in the NFL claims him, then he is ineligible to play for this season. Right. So if nobody claims him, then he would be eligible for a team to sign him and be able to play. So it is said, I know that Ian Rappaport or Adam Schefter, one of the two, came out and said that they doubt that a team would use that level of gamesmanship to do something like that. For me, I worry about it, and I call a little bit of BS in the sense of this: if we're living in an NFL to where guys will deflate footballs, right? So I mean,
allegedly.
Yeah. So listen, man, I would not be surprised if it's a team like the Minnesota Vikings, Kansas City Chiefs, Philadelphia Eagles, Baltimore Ravens. Detroit Lions desperately need a pass rusher, right? And there's one that may just be floating around. I'll claim him. Whatever. You know what I mean? So that's the only thing that worries me. I'm not saying that it will happen, but I wouldn't be as surprised, I guess, if those guys are, if it did happen, because there's a lot of teams that either are afraid of the Detroit Lions or have a strong level of respect for the Detroit Lions. And if it was me, I'm not going to allow you to get any more help than you already have, if I can have anything to say about it. So if all I got to do is claim you, probably pay $7 million, right? Just to make sure that you guys don't get another guy to play opposite of Zadarius Smith, for right now. And who knows, this dude might come back and decide to sign with you guys and play next year. And now you're talking about Aiden Hutchinson, Zadarius Smith, Levi Onwuzurike, whoever you might draft in a draft. I wouldn't be surprised if somebody CB'd us, man, and claimed him.
What's CB? I'm not familiar with that term. What's it rhyme with?
This is a children's show.
Yeah, I said the same thing about Calais Campbell when we talked about that and the possibilities and what would have to happen. I said another team would probably claim him, a divisional team like the Packers or Vikings, just to block us because they know that we need help up front. So if this does come to light and something does happen with Shaq Barrett and we end up signing him, I think we'll be at least in the mix. I hope we're at least talking to the agent and trying to figure something out, because if there's one thing we need, it's some help up front. And, not saying that our offense can't carry us, because I do think they can, but just hop down here tonight, guys. Talked about a little Teddy Bridgewater, some recent news. We took a couple of days off for the holidays. Hopefully everyone had a good Christmas. Hit that like button, stick around, hit that subscribe button so someone can win this Brian Branch jersey. We'll be back later with another show.